It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning and welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this, the 8th day of September 2021, coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg. Got several things to discuss this morning. First, don't forget about tomorrow. Will not be live, but pre-recorded due to a doctor's appointment with my pulmonologist. That's tomorrow. Today's travel and cruise industry news will update weather on both the Atlantic and the Pacific. Some news on the Carnival Glory, the American Melody, the MSC Virtuosa, St. Kitts and Nevis reopens. A report from Cruising Pete on the Sky Princess, and lots more this morning. But before we get to any of that, there's a couple things I got to ask you to do, folks, and point out something. One, if you are a person of faith, whatever the religion, and I'm not making any statements one or the other, if you are and you believe in prayer, you might offer one up for our buddy Hot Air Tom, who's having a little surgery this morning. That was him waiting to go into some little minor surgery today. But I'm sure you guys helped me a lot with those prayers. Sure, it'll help Tom out too. Okay. I have been meaning for 2 days to talk about this, and I have kept putting it off. Some of you may remember, man, it's been a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I did an interview with Pam Huffey of Avalon Waterways that does a lot of river cruises in Europe. From that interview, I made friends with a gal down in Tampa, Bethany Bartley. And she and I became friends. But she's a big fan of Avalon Waterways. As a matter of fact, she's planning on doing a river cruise this fall over there in Europe. So we hope that everything works out, that she can go with all the mess going on with travel. But she's planning on it, and I'm going to talk her into some kind of a live stream from there too. But we became friends halfway because she's got 2 cats, and I've got 2 cats. So we talk about cats all the time. And she's a big sports fan. She does all the Tampa Bay stuff. Goes to see the baseball team, goes to football games, goes to hockey games. And she's a big fan. So I'm a sports fan. So it's been, we chat back and forth all the time. So she happened to put this on Facebook. It was one day last week. And I thought, oh my goodness, look at that needlepoint. And I love that scene because she pointed out that that's the way it was. And she worked on it a little bit, and it's getting a little bit better. She's getting close to the finish point. So I sent her a teasing comment. I said, is that what you do when you go on cruises? And she says, no, that's what I do when I'm stuck in the house on a pandemic. And I thought, well, okay, I'll buy that one. But then I got to thinking, folks, those of you that like to cruise and don't necessarily have to have something to do, that you can sit and be happy sitting in the sun, or sitting on your balcony, or sitting in one of the lounges and just want something to do. Wow. I can't do it. I don't have the patience for it. But that needlepoint is just absolutely gorgeous. And I love that scene because, you know me, I'm nuts about water wheels and water anyway. But anyway, I told Bethany, I said, I'm going to use you on the show. And I was going to do it Monday, and I was going to do it yesterday, and it just didn't get done. So that's Bethany Bartley down there in Tampa. You're going to be hearing some more from her in the future. All right, before we get to our guest today, let's go take care of the weather first. What did I do with the weather? I don't even have the maps loaded. You got to be kidding me. Oh, well. All right, couple things to discuss on the weather. One thing also to mention, MSC folks, they've extended the free drinks, free Wi-Fi package for a couple days. So you might want to check on that. All right, we still got Hurricane Larry. That's moving northwest with not much change in strength. Dangerous swells to affect much of the western Atlantic beaches this week. Tropical storm watch is in effect for Bermuda. Interest in southeastern Newfoundland should monitor the progress of the system. The large eye of Hurricane Larry was located about 500 miles southeast of Bermuda, moving to the northwest at about 10 miles an hour. This general motion is expected to continue through today. A turn toward the north-northwest and north with an increase in forward speed is forecast for tomorrow. A faster northwestward motion is expected by Friday. The center of Larry should pass east of Bermuda sometime tomorrow. Maximum sustained winds are 115 with higher gusts. Still a Category 3 storm. Gradually weakening is forecast during the next several days, but Larry's expected to remain a hurricane during that time. It's still a big storm. Hurricane force winds extended 70 miles. Tropical force winds extend 185 miles. The pressures actually dropped to 966, which means we could have some more strengthening from this one, folks. And then we've been watching a little system down in the Gulf that came across the Yucatan and into the Gulf of Mexico. And it's now pretty much heading for the Big Bend in Florida. It's probably going to cross Florida and come back in the Atlantic. And probably if it has anything left, that's where it's going to get some strengthening. And they're calling for a 50% chance of strengthening. So it's going to probably start getting some rain around the Big Bend area later on today. Goes across Florida, out in the ocean. And then over the next 48 hours, we could see some strengthening. They're calling for 50%. All right, then out on the West Coast, Tropical Depression 15E is forecast to become a tropical storm later today. The government of Mexico has extended the tropical storm watch northward along the west coast of Baja California Sur to Santa Fe. Interests elsewhere in Baja California Sur should monitor the progress of the system. Additional watches or warnings may be required later today. The center of Tropical Depression 15E was located about 200 miles west of Manzanilla, 335 miles south-southeast of Cabo. Moving to the northwest at only about 5 miles an hour, which is actually speeding up because it was moving at 3 miles an hour during the night. So this has got some chance of developing over the next couple of days. We're just going to have to watch it and see what happens. So, don't know what happened to my charts that I loaded earlier today, but so be it. All right, I told you that I had I interviewed Pete earlier this morning from the Sky Princess over there sailing around the UK. The reason we didn't do it live on the show today because he had no idea what the Wi-Fi was going to be like, and the stream. The issues we've had with streaming lately. So we decided let's just tape it and I'll play it back. And it was Princess has got it right, folks, on the Wi-Fi, as you'll find out. But here's my buddy Pete. Let's see if I can do this without screwing things up. My guest on Chillie Chats this morning is my old friend Pete, cruising Pete. Pete's on board the Sky Princess. What do you think of the Sky Princess, Pete?
Yeah, old friend. I think old is probably how I feel. Yeah. I mean, for me, the first time I ever cruised Chile, I fell in love with cruising with Princess about 6 years ago on the Emerald Princess. So in some ways, it's kind of coming back home, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, and the Sky Princess is one of their new ships, and yeah, I'm loving her. I really am. It's just, I mean, beautiful ship. She really is a beautiful ship.
Now, it seems to me on the first day, I think you probably had just got, maybe it was the second day, you had this young lady here. Is that bringing you a Bloody Mary?
No.
Here I thought you were working
of,
on your vegetable level.
It is strawberry.
Oh,
I can't remember what the name of the cocktail is. I'm actually making a video, Chillie, yeah, of all. I've got the drinks package. I'll talk about that in a bit. Of all the drinks that I've been drinking since I've boarded the ship, yeah, and name it. And that's one of the That's one of the frozen cocktails. That's a frozen pina colada.
Mm-hmm. So you have been imbibing.
I thought I'm going to go through these cocktails. I've already had all the frozen cocktails already. I think that was almost on day one. I'm too old for this.
Maybe you need to be about that ship that's got a clock in the floor and you go, oh goodness, it's time to get back to my cabin.
I know. You see, the problem is I cruised a while ago with the Cruise Monkeys, as you probably know, and it took me for a night out, which kind of, and it's kind of spreading now, so I'm kind of enjoying it on this. And the advantage, I mean, it's what's great is Princess. I was able to get the drinks package included, and with the drinks package, it's a no-brainer. You've got drinks package, you have the Wi-Fi included, the tips included, and you can have any drink up to $12, I think it is. And I haven't seen anything that much more expensive anyway, so I'm making the most of that, and I'm going for it.
Absolutely. And I see you've been schmoozing with the bigwigs.
Yes. Do you know something? What's incredible? I'm sat there. With the Princess drinks package, which is different to other companies, is that you get the coffees included as well, all the lovely lattes, different versions of lattes and cappuccinos. So I'm sat in the International Cafe, which is 24 hours in the atrium, and I'm sat there and I spotted the captain, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to grab a selfie. I'm definitely going to get a photograph. Then I spotted the cruise director, Paul. So I went over to them and said, guys, I didn't say, all right, chaps, by the way, if you know me. I said, guys, is it possible I can have a selfie? They're like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. So I got this wonderful selfie. Then the captain goes, we did it with the mask. He goes, just take the mask off. Do one without the masks. So we took my photograph without the masks. And what I didn't realise was, first of all, the captain said to me, he said, it's rare that you get the two of us together. Hardly ever we two of us together, the two main people. And also, I didn't realise it was the cruise director, Paul's, birthday as well. So that's a kind of birthday photo. And you know what's really nice? I was chatting this morning. I met this lovely couple at one of the dinners I did. And I was I bumped into them this morning at the breakfast in the buffet. And I was chatting. I said to them, do you know something? I've got this amazing photograph of the captain. How cool is that? Yeah. How cool is the captain? How good is that? And just after that, the captain walked past. So I grabbed him and I got a lovely photograph of this couple with the captain, and it really made their morning. They were so
good
chuffed.
Job.
And he's a real character as well.
Yeah.
He's hilarious. Yeah.
All right. So overall, you like the food?
Well, it's interesting because when you kind of blog and you give information, I try to do my blogs about more informational. It's not about me, it's about everything else. So I went to the MDR, the main dining room, Celio, on my first night, and I had my first evening meal there, and it didn't go to plan, Chillie. It really didn't. First of all, I mean, I had a lovely starter, these prawns in garlic, which is great. Then I went for the soup. So I ordered the soup, yeah, and the soup was like cold soup, cold pumpkin curry soup, and I was like, it really needed to be heated up. So that's my fault for ordering it, yeah. But then I wanted, it had this lovely sea seafood red curry. I thought, I'm going for that. It turned up, yeah, there was no curry. There was no sauce. There was about 3 or 4 prawns with a few drops of curry sauce on it and rice. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, I can't eat that. It's just too dry. So I swapped it. They gave me another meal, which is lovely. It was fish, and it's good. But my experience didn't really go that well. So I then went there the next day, and I thought, I've got to be honest with people, explain what happened. So I did. And I went there the next day because maybe it was my fault ordering the curries, the wrong stuff, a cold curry soup and a curry seafood with no curry, you know, and it was great. It was fantastic. But tonight I'm going to the Crown Grill, which is one of the specialty restaurants, and I'm looking forward to that. But the buffet, I have to admit, so far, I think the buffet is excellent. The buffet is really good. Very impressed with that.
How are their protocols? You stay your mask indoors in all the venues?
Yeah, what happens is that whenever you're walking around, you put the mask on.
Yeah.
Once you're seated, you take the mask off, apart from the theatre shows. I saw the show last night, Rock Opera, the main show, and they asked us all to wear our masks during the performance. But if you were sipping a drink, you could take your drinks in this particular theatre. So if you took a drink in, they said, sip your drink, but please put your mask back on again. But apart from that, yeah, only when you walk around. So most of the time, you don't have your mask on.
Okay.
Which is great. I mean, it's really, really not an issue. Some people go, oh, I'm cruising, wearing a mask. I'm not going to do that. It's not going to be fun. Honestly, it really doesn't affect you. It's like putting your sunglasses on or your hat on. You just walk from A to B. Remember to put your mask on. You sit down. Most of the time, your mask is off, apart from theatre. Okay. So, yeah, those protocols, I think, are working really, really well.
And you think overall Princess has got it right?
Well, I really do. I mean, this is my 4th UK staycation, Chillie.
Yeah.
Which is fantastic. It's a real opportunity for us in the UK to try different cruise lines. And it's been really interesting to see how different cruise lines do different things. Like in some of the theatres, you don't need to wear a mask, how the embarkation works. Now, Princess have something called the Medallion, yeah, and the Medallion app, which is completely different. Now, so you don't have a key to your room. You wear this around your neck, or I've seen some people make it as a watch as well. And do you know what's really funny about this? Is that when you're walking to your room, it knows you're coming, and it opens the door for you. Unlocks the door for you. So when you arrive at your room, your door's unlocked. But a lot of people don't know that. So they get to the room, there's like, someone's in my room. Why is my room unlocked? They don't know. They have a clue. So and what happens is they basically click that for your drinks. So that is really instead of a key. Yeah. And they've also got the Medallion app where you can order your cocktails and your food and things on your app on your phone, and then they come and find you with it. I mean, I haven't done that. I've gone the old-fashioned way. I've had the servants come up to me and I said, "Can you please get me a drink?" But I'm going to try before I go. I'm going to order a drink on my phone on the Medallion app and see if they can find me. I might put a disguise on. If I put a disguise on, the poor guy or lady will be walking around. Where is he? Where is he?
Yeah.
So it's quite funny because this is a really traditional cruise line, if you ask me. Princess Cruises, really traditional.
Now, I'll tell you something that I'm surprised about, Pete. This is maybe the best stream I've had from any number of about 30 ships in the last 2 months. This is a great feed you've got.
Yeah, this is their Wi-Fi. And if you upgrade to the main drinks package, whatever they call it, includes your Wi-Fi and your tips as well. I mean, I got it as part of my cruise, so I haven't paid a penny for that. But you're right. I've as a blogger, I was thinking, okay, I want to be able to download some of the YouTube videos, and it's downloaded really quick. So the Wi-Fi on this new Princess cruise ship is fantastic. The Wi-Fi on the first ship I did, the Virtuosa, was great as well. The Wi-Fi on the Morella was like dial up. You might as well forget it. And P&O Britannia, the third one I didn't even bother with it because I thought it ain't going to work, you know. So I put, so yeah, you're right. It's fantastic. And I guess it has to be because they're using the medallion, and it needs to be good.
And by the way, folks, anybody that's watching this, Pete just posted his buffet breakfast is up on YouTube. Go see it. It's good. I got to ask you something, Pete. I got to ask you about another story altogether. You were on the Virtuoso.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how much of this you are aware of in being there, but I'm going to read the story to you like I would on the ship and ask you just to comment on it. There have been numerous social media reports and one unconfirmed influencer report of outbreaks on the Virtuoso, complaining of guests who felt ill during the cruise that tested positive as soon as they left the ship. Some cruisers would not agree to be tested on the cruise ship in order to avoid the 100-pound fee. Apparently, there was no enforcement of wearing face masks or social distancing. Others complained that not only were people ignoring the wearing of face masks, but that the ship was crowded. Numerous requests have been made to MSC, who has not responded. Now, I've not been able to confirm it because I can't get anything from MSC, but I have seen about 8 different reports on social media and one influencer that I don't like because he never confirms anything. Comment since you were on the Virtuoso.
I mean, well, when I was on the Virtuoso, it's the first ship that sailed, and so we only had 1,000 people on board. So, and they didn't really know what they were doing.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, at the moment, you have to be double jabbed, to my knowledge, for most of these cruise lines, and then you have the lateral flow test at the port as well. What you have to remember, Chillie, is that the UK now is that we don't have any more social distancing rules. You can now go to the theatre, you can go to restaurants, you can go to concerts, you can go to football games. There's no social distancing whatsoever. And on board the Princess, you know, what they're doing is we don't have any social distancing here either. You know, you can sit next to people at the theatre, there's no seat split, you know, everything's back to normal. The only difference is that you're wearing a mask. So I felt that the cruise lines have done as much as they possibly can to try to avoid an outbreak on the ship. I felt safer on a ship than to go to a restaurant because I know that everyone's double jabbed and everyone's done the lateral flow test before they get on board the ship at the port, which is free of charge from the cruise lines. You know, and so I was thinking to myself that, and wearing a mask when you're walking around as well, there's not much more we can do if we want to have a normal life again. There really isn't, you know. And so I think that, but it's not a perfect world. There's no doubt it's not perfect. And so it does probably get on the ship who has it. They can't get everybody.
Yeah.
And, you know, and then, you know, and I suppose an outbreak can happen. It could happen with us. I'm sat next to people in the theatre. I'm sat next to people in the restaurants. I'm seeing people all the time, you know. And
what I've seen, Pete, what I've seen where there have been some cases reported, that kicks into the protocols, and the protocols are working. They isolate the people. They contact trace them to see if anybody else. Then they test those people, and they get that person off the ship as quickly as they can. I mean, to me, the protocols are working, and that's even better.
Yeah, and also we have been cruising lots of cruise lines doing UK staycations since May. Okay. You're talking 4 to 5 months where you've heard nothing in the press whatsoever because the cruise lines have got it as right as you can possibly get it. So I feel that if you want to cruise, if you want to have a life again, if you want to do something and not to stay home, then I feel that the cruise lines are as safe as you can possibly be. It's not 100%. I know it's not 100%. I really do. But I mean, I think it's just unlucky if that's what's happened on the Virtuosa. It could easily happen on this ship as well, Chillie. You know, I mean, I don't know how it's happening, how things are going in America, because the UK staycations, as I said, they do insist that we're double jabbed. They do insist that we have a free lateral flow test beforehand. and I think that's as much as they can do.
I'm afraid, Pete, in about 2 more weeks, you're going to see it worse in the U.S. than you have ever seen it from this weekend. From all the football games, no masking, no social distancing, no vaccines required. Thousands of people packed together, and all of them yelling and screaming. And I think that we're just going to go through the roof. It's bad now, especially in some of the southern states. But yeah, I think it's going to get worse here.
I mean, I've got to give hats off to all the cruise lines in the UK that have had such a successful season, and I hope it doesn't all go slightly wrong at the end of it. Another thing I've been doing, by the way, Chillie, I'm going to be posting a video, just let everybody know. I'm going to be posting a video probably sometime tomorrow. It's like a montage of photographs of the crew. It's to say a huge thank you to all the crew, not just on board the Sky Princess, but to the crew on board cruise ships all around the world who suffered more than us. You know, we couldn't cruise for 17 months. I was on the first cruise ship to leave the UK in 17 months, as you know, the Virtuosa. But the crew, you know, that was their job. That was their livelihoods. That's how they fed their families. So I made a lovely video. I've got loads of great stuff. I've got a bit more to do because I don't know who I'm going to bump into, you know, on the ship. And I'm going to post that as well, just as a huge thank you to the crew. And the crew on board this ship, by the way, are just incredible. You know, they really, really are fantastic. They're doing a fantastic job. It's half full. And I haven't waited for anything. I go in the buffet. It's busy, but not packed. And there's no waiting for your food. They serve you, by the way, in the buffet. You tell them what you want, and they serve you. And that works really well.
I like that. It
really does.
I like that. I wish all of them would do it. Some of the cruise lines over here are not. Carnival's not. But Royal Caribbean, Norwegian, some of them are. But yeah, that's one of the things I like. I like that. And I like the way they're doing the muster drill on a lot of ships now.
Yeah, the muster drill worked really well. I came in. What I had to do is watch the video on my screen. And so it lets it, and it knows that you watched it. And then you go up to your muster station, you go to the guy, you click that to say, I watched it, bang, you're done. Yeah. So the first thing you do, get that out of the way, you know, and again, that works really well.
Yeah.
Then you're on holiday.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quite I had a bit of a crazy incident. I did a video talking about how you can walk to the ports and things like that. Yeah. And I walked past this place called the Red Funnel Ferry in Southampton, which is quite close to the ocean terminal where we got on this cruise. Yeah. Then I'm on the ship and I've posted a couple of things. Someone said to me, posted a message, Pete, check the BBC Southampton website. Red Funnel, about 30 or so, I don't know how long it was after I walked past the area, a lorry crashed into this place in the Red Funnel terminal and literally took out part of it and almost killed 3 people. And I was like, oh my God, I walked past that. In fact, I stood there for a little while checking my phone. It was like, oh wow, crazy, eh?
Well, listen, Pete, I certainly do appreciate your time, and this was a terrific interview on the Sky Princess. Have a great rest of your cruise. We'll look forward to seeing your videos.
Yep. Cheers, Chillie, and I'm glad to see you're looking really
Pete.
healthy.
See you next time. All right, let me see. I got to get rid of that, and there we're back. Okay. That was just a terrific interview with my friend Pete from the Sky Princess. Do have a couple news stories to get to this morning, folks. That's down there in New Orleans. Carnival Cruise Line has made an agreement with the city of New Orleans and FEMA to house first responders helping with recovery efforts in New Orleans. It comes after the city is recovering from Hurricane Ida from last week. I guess it's 10 days ago now, almost. The cruise line has agreed with the city for the Carnival Glory to be used through September 18th. The ship will house up to 2,600 first responders, hospital workers, utility workers, and various personnel involved in the recovery effort. much the same way as our friends from Bahamas Paradise ship is being used. As a result, the cruise line has canceled the ship's scheduled September 12th departure from New Orleans. The ship was scheduled to depart on a 7-day Western Caribbean itinerary, including calls in Roatan, Honduras, Belize, and Cozumel. The cruise was set to be the first return voyage for Carnival Glory following the cancellation of the September 5th departure. That voyage was canceled also due to the impact of Hurricane Ida. So the Glory is going to be used here for the next couple weeks down there in Nolens. All right. We're never talking much about river cruising. I think we're going to be talking about it a lot more. This is the inaugural season for American Cruise Line's newest ship, the American Melody. The newest U.S. riverboat departed on the 3rd, that was last Friday, for the line's longest Mississippi River cruise. Guests aboard celebrated Labor Day weekend exploring the lower Mississippi on the 22-day complete Mississippi River cruise. That's awesome. Through the end of December of this year, American Melody will also operate several 8-day upper Mississippi River cruises between St. Louis and St. Paul, Minnesota, as well as an 8-day lower Mississippi River. These include 8-day New Orleans round-trip itineraries, special holiday cruises for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. That's American Cruise Line, the American Melody. Cool. All right. That's down there in St. Kitts. Finally, after many months of waiting, St. Kitts is opening its doors to large cruise ship once again. St. Kitts and Nevis, one of the most popular Caribbean ports of call for several cruise companies, will welcome the Celebrity Equinox on the 14th. The call makes the first call of one of the celebrity cruise ships in the Royal Caribbean Group since the pandemic started in March of last year. The island is opening for large cruise ships under strict health protocols. The island's closed for large ships early in August to ensure clear policies to welcome the ships safely. Besides the bubble tours that the Tourism Authority has set up, all guests aboard Celebrity Equinox over the age of 12 must be fully vaccinated with an approved vaccination from the World Health Organization before the ship will be allowed entry into the port. Under the celebrity protocols, all vaccinated guests also submit a negative PCR or antigen test 3 days before embarkation of the vessel at the home port in the beginning of the cruise. For the remainder of September, the port is scheduled to receive Seabourn Odyssey 3 times on September 16th, 24th, and 30th. In October, calls are scheduled from Carnival Freedom, Norwegian Joy, Viking Orion, Ada Soul, and Celebrity Equinox, plus the Seabourn Odyssey again. So things are going to be hopping down in St. Kitts. And our friends from JJ Cruise are on board the Equinox, and they're going to be able to go into St. Kitts. So that's pretty cool. So, all right, let's go back and see. I think I saw that Tom Henry is home from the hospital after his surgery. I think I caught that someplace and flashed by my eyes while Pete was talking. So let's see. Carol's with us. Gretchen's with us. Good morning to y'all. Jack's with us down in Conroe, Texas, 80 degrees and sunny. Carol says Princess Plus includes Wi-Fi, gratuities, drinks value up to $12, specialty coffee. Well worth it. Great value, approximately $40 US per day. Yeah, $40 a day, but look what you're getting. Good heavens. I mean, you figure, Wi-Fi, the good Wi-Fi signal is a couple $100. Gratuities. Yeah, that's awesome. That's absolutely awesome. So, and boy, I tell you what, I don't know if Princess has that kind of Wi-Fi signal on all their ships, but man, that was a good stream. Boy, it would make my job so much easier. Every ship was like that. Yeah, Tom Henry's. Hi, everyone. Just got home from my foot surgery. Gretchen says, how did it go, Tom? I slept through the whole thing, even the anesthesia. That's good. Got a boot on the left foot, heel walking only. You'll be back jet skiing before you know it. Emily's here. She says, hello, Pete. Better late than never. She said, I will have to rewatch. I'm sorry we didn't go on and try to do it live. If we had any idea the signal was that good, we would have done it live. Well, Pete did have a dinner scheduled, but that would have been 4:00 his time. I bet we could have squeezed it in, but I had no idea. I thought we would be stumbling around and having dead air and stuff like we've had several times on recent interviews. So that's why we taped it. But wow. Like I say, princesses, they've learned how to do Wi-Fi, that's for sure. Gretchen says, can't wait to get on Sky Princess. 87 days. Nice, Gretchen. Nikki's here. Says, hi, y'all. We were out running errands. Just caught the end of the interview with Pete. We'll watch later. Thank you. Emily says, hot air. I'm so sorry about your foot. Leg don't do too much. Hope you feel better soon. I think we all are thinking the same thing on that one. Hot air, Tom. Carol says 6 cruises booked on Princess in 2022, making up for the last 2 COVID years. Sweet. We're going to be talking to you a lot. I like it. Gretchen says, I've got 2 in 22, 1 in 23 so far, Carol. I'm looking forward to what this pulmonologist is going to tell me tomorrow, whether I'll be looking ahead and starting to book some cruises or where I'm going to go. Call him nasty things. And of course, Gretchen has one in December, she says. 223 for me, South Pacific, Canary Islands, and Transatlantic. So, man, that's awesome. Gretchen says 223 Oktoberfest. Nice. Tom Henry said, did I hear Chillie say something about passengers refusing to get tested? That was one of the reports, Tom, on social media from one of the passengers that was complaining about this whole issue on the Virtuoso. And again, I'm going from 6 different people on 6 or 8 different people on social media, and the one quote unquote influencer that I don't like. And you guys know who that is. But he had a big article. Of course, he's trying to make the cruise industry and a cruise ship look bad. But he, blasted up a bunch of the social media things. Yeah, that was one of them. The people were refusing to get tested because they didn't want to pay for it. And apparently MSC was charging them to be tested on board. I'm not sure. I don't understand all this. And MSC won't say anything. MSC's got to get their act together here. They got to come out and deny it or confirm it or explain it or do something. They can't just leave this hanging, because too many people are going to get it. And you're going to get some of these big-time influencers that have hundreds of thousands of people watching are going to start blasting it out today because they follow this Jehu that I hate. And you're going to have a lot of people up in arms over this. So MSC's, they're hurting themselves really bad over this one, I'm afraid. Emily says, I meant to ask you about Charmaine and Continental. Hope they are well. Yeah, they're fine. They just never come in here. I don't know if they don't like the lights. They don't like me. That's possible. I mean, I feed them breakfast at 5:00 every morning. I don't feed them dinner. My sister takes care of dinner, or Amanda, depending on which one's here. So, Gretchen says, we haven't seen the kitties for a while. Yeah, they just never come in here. I never hear them either. when I'm doing the show. Emily says, good luck tomorrow at the docks. Yeah, boy, I'd like to have some good news about this. Just what to expect with the oxygen business. So, and what I got to do so I can cruise once things get somewhat back to normal as far as traveling goes. Again, folks, I'm being as honest as I can be. I'm scared to death of what we're going to see in about 2 weeks from now. And I hope I'm so wrong. I hope my buddy Jason up there in Pittsburgh can say, you jackass, you were totally wrong. See there? You got all worried for nothing. I hope it's exactly what Jason can say. And all of you guys do. But I'm scared to death what this week is going to do to this country. I just think we're going to see spikes everywhere, and we can't take it because the Delta variant's bad enough in so many places now. But that's me. Maybe I'm being a worrywart. So, all right, that's going to wrap me up for today, folks. Terrific show this morning. Pete was I thought Pete did such a good job. Pete is like a different person now that he's been on some cruises and he's doing his own thing with his channel. And I think that's just awesome. By the way, folks, don't forget oysters this weekend down at Waterman's Museum in Yorktown from 12 to 3 on Saturday. It's Oyster Fest. I think my sister and brother-in-law are going to be there. I'm not going to try it because even though I'm driving, back and forth to the doctor and so forth, I don't know if I can go 3 hours and then be down there for an hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours back. Not sure if I can do all that yet. So I'm not going to attempt it. But I think my sister and brother-in-law are going to be down there. So if anybody's out and about, don't forget that one. And anyway, that was pretty cool. Thanks, Bethany, for letting me use your needle point this morning. I do appreciate that. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today. Again, Pete was drinking a lot of booze and hobnobbing with the big guys, the big dogs on the Sky Princess. So thank you, Pete, for a terrific interview. All right, guys, I'll see everybody tomorrow, same time, same station, 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Remember, it's not live tomorrow. It's going to be taped. But I'll have something up for you. It'll go on the air at 11 o'clock. See you guys Friday for me. I'll see everybody else tomorrow via videotape. Later, y'all. Have a great day.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.